Dynamo against the Leafs. The starting goalie, Stolenkov for Dynamo, Besser for the Leafs. And the first period is underway. Pearson tips it into Dynamo zone. Frolov gives it to Semak. He backhands it up on the left side. It's picked up by Pearson looking for Krushelnyski, and the puck rolls to the corner. Krushelnyski back of the point to Tom Kerbers, who's in the Leafs lineup tonight. Pearson looking for Krushelnyski in front, couldn't get the pass through, and it's cleared to the point. Kerbers back behind the goal. Frolov is there for Dynamo. He sends it up the boards, but Richardson was waiting. Sacco can't trap it behind the goal, and the puck slides out to center ice. Tom Kerbers back in his own zone. He gets it to Pearson. Leonov lost his stick on the play. Heideroth behind his net gives it to Semak. Kovalev on the left side to Kramskoy. Puck in the corner, and Miller banks it off the boards to center. Paul Fenton for the Leafs. Sends it into Dynamo zone. Miller in the corner with Domfus. Gets away from Lomakin. Fenton behind the goal for the Leafs. Couldn't make a play. And Sorokin starts out for Dynamo. Pass at center for Lomakin. Got tied up in the skates of linesman Bob Hodges. Dan Mirowelli is the ref. Ron Finn, the other linesman tonight. Puck is sent down the ice, and Bester plays it. Paul Fenton. Lead pass for Domfus. He bumps with Uden behind the goal. Zamnov in to help out for Dynamo. A minute 40 gone in the first period, no score. Zamnov. Pass went behind Andreevsky. And the puck is cleared out by Miller, picked up by Domfus. He's with Broughton, 2-on-1. Domfus couldn't get a backhand pass across. Now he puts it through the slot. Miller overskated the puck. Iafredi is pushed off it. Pass is intercepted. Lomakin to the backhand. And he couldn't get a shot away on good checking by Goodenyak. And the Leafs fans appreciate the work of him.
Well, he's got him on their side to start with. I know Floyd Smith's very high in this kid and thinks he'll be on this team before this season ends.
Leafs shoot the puck in. Marois in the corner. Gives it to Deblois at the side of the goal. It's picked up by Filimonov. He gives it to Heideroth down the right side. Fakes the shot. And Goodenyak made another fine defensive play for the Leafs. Aaron Broughton. He was tied up at center by Galchenyuk. Now dumps it in to Dynamo zone. And the fans like the first shift by Alexander Goodenyak. Leafs called on the offside.
Well, Goodenyak had a great first shift at the Toronto Maple Leafs. He hammered a couple of his former foes in the Russian League and moved the puck quickly up. And these are the things that his coach told me he could do. Move the puck and move people. And every NHL coach would love to have a guy like that. Very nervous. He only played one game in Newmarket. So he really has had very little experience with North American hockey. He's practiced a lot with the Leafs, but not many games.
Dynamo have 8 defensemen dressed. The puck is tipped out by Yakubov. Alexei Kovalev was taken to the corner boards by Richardson. Puck is sent down the ice. Karpotsov goes back for it. Around the boards for Boughton. Kovalev couldn't clear it. Puck loose at the side of the goal. Reed trying to come in front. Kerbers gets it away and a shot, and a big save by Stolenkov. Rebound. It's waved off. He scored. Dave Reed.
It went in the first time, Bruce. I don't know what Mirowelli wasn't looking at, but Hannon put it in the first time. There was no question about it. And Hannon has, that would be, although these games don't count, obviously, that would be Hannon's first goal in 14 games. And that's one benefit a game like this can give players that are struggling. If they score a couple, then it's good for the confidence. And absolutely, Hannon scored the first goal. And the Leafs scored on it because the Russian players knew it went in. And they all stood around wondering whether they were going to be on the ice for the next shift or not. So I don't know who they're going to give the goal to, but this is the man that deserves it.
And it's 1-0 Toronto. Michel Petit, pass through center. Andrei Kovalev back in his own zone to Kramskoy. Pearson right on him. Joe Sacco In with Krushelnitsky, goes around the defense, and a nice poke check by Frolov. Sacco to Petit, his shot just wide. Leonov stopped at center. Michel Petit gives it to Pearson on right wing. Kramskoy checking him. Pearson trying to one-hand it in front. Sacco jams away at it, and Stolinkov covers up for Dynamo. Leads leading 1-0. First period, Dave Hannon did get credit for the Toronto goal, and they lead Dynamo 1-0.
Telling his buddy on the bench, he says it's tough enough to score 1 goal in 14 games, and Marawali tried not to give it to me. Tom Watts hoping to see some new players. He's hoping to get some players who haven't played much lately into this game, and he's hoping nobody gets hurt, not necessarily in that order.
Puck comes into Stolinkov. He gave it to Uden, who banked it off the boards down the ice, and Bester sets it up for Al-Iafredi. Andreyevsky forechecking, along with Zamnov. Lomakin in the corner in front. A shot by Andreyevsky. Didn't get real good wood on it, and it's grabbed by Alan Bester.
Well, Alan Bester hasn't played much hockey this year, and he's 0-4-0. He hasn't won or tied a game. So it's nice for him to get back in the net and get some game experience. He went to Newmarket and played some games and makes a pretty good stop right there on the first shot by the Dynamo team.
Won 20 games last year, Alan Bester, but Peter Ing's been the #1 man as of late as the Leafs play better hockey.
And he's one of the reasons why they are playing better hockey, Bruce. He's got the night off tonight, and he deserves a rest.
Goodniak on the left side for former Jet and King Paul Fenton. He puts it behind the net. Miller puts off, boost the shot, and he just missed the goal. Fenton in the corner. Leafs have had some good chances here in the first. Sorokin took a hit from Miller, and it's poked out by Andreyevsky, a big right winger for Dynamo. Domfus back to Al-Iafredi. His pass off a Soviet stick. Potikin, the captain, had trouble with it at the line. Iafredi continues on. It goes to Stolinkov, and he covers up just past the 5-minute mark. 1-0 Toronto. Play is just underway. Dorofeyev looking in front for Galchenyuk, and a shot by Hyderov went just wide. Filimonov was in from the point. Soviets forechecking. Galchenyuk turning in the corner for Dynamo. Takes a weak shot off the blocker of Bester to Lucien Deblois. Couldn't clear the zone. Galchenyuk for Hyderov in the corner. Turbers up the boards for Marois. Dave Hannon has scored. It's 1-0 Leafs with 14 minutes to go in the first. Dorofeyev can't split the defense, and it's Filimonov at center for Dynamo. To Galchenyuk. Gets away from Marois at center. Galchenyuk again for Dynamo. Into the Leaf zone. 4 of them were waiting at the line, and Bester tips it to Kevin Maguire. Hyderov in front for Dorofeyev. Can't get a shot away against Richardson. That pass picked off by Hannon, and he backhands it down the ice for the Leafs.
I think we can expect to see Dynamo play better as the game wears on. They came from Dusseldorf, where they finished played in a tournament Saturday. And so and arrived yesterday.
McGuire right through the crease, and Hannon couldn't get a stick on it. Michel Petit at the line. To Hannon in the corner. Behind the goal for McGuire, Popikin is with him. Filimonov trying to tie up Hannon. Dave Reed leading the NHL in short-handed goals. To the backhand. Gives it to Hannon in the corner. Through the slot off the skate of Petit, but Gill will keep it in. He backhands it wide of the net. Popikin. For Dynamo, to Alexei Kovalev. He overskated the puck, drops it off. Korolev. Now the puck in the Leaf zone. Petit. He sends the puck the length of the ice, about 10. Back to touch it, and it's icing on the Leafs.
Dynamo roster. They dressed 22 players tonight, 4 sets of 5 that always play together, plus the 2 goalies. So when you add the 6 coaches, the 2 trainers, and the 22 players, there's not enough room on Maple Leaf Gardens benches for a roster this size.
Harry's had that lineup rolling through his brain for the last couple of days.
I was saying, Bruce, that these guys lost to Sweden in a tournament in Dusseldorf, Germany, Saturday, and came over here. So jet lag is going to be an enemy of theirs for a while, and that's why I think you'll see them play a little better as the game wears on.
Dynamo called for icing.
Well, there's Rob Pearson making his debut with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was traded from Belleville to Oshawa earlier this season. Floyd Smith was telling me that it was really unfortunate that he was hurt at training camp because they thought he had an outside chance of making this team. He's got some ability, and he's a tough cookie.
Didn't know Mike Krushelnyski could speak Russian, saw him talking to Goodenyak before that draw to the right of Stalenkov. Kramskoy for Dynamo. They trail 1-0 here in the first period. Iafredi off the boards. Kramskoy, an errant pass picked up by Pearson to Sacco. A shot right through the crease. Leonov down the left side for Dynamo. He's with Kovalev and Staymak, the top scoring unit for Dynamo. Kramskoy. He gets pinned on the boards by Pearson. Puck bounces into Bester. Goodenyak to Joe Sacco, the rookie. He rolls it through center to Krushelnyski, who's the Leafs' leading scorer since coming over from Los Angeles. Kovalev gives it to Staymak. He's behind Goodenyak, but he caught him with good speed. Leonov in the corner. He's knocked down by Iafredi. Trying to skate out for the Leafs. Off the skate of Krushelnyski. He gets to the Dynamo line. Frolov takes him to the boards, and Staymak moves the puck across to Uden. Now to Andreyevsky. Womakin forced back. Nearly gave the puck away to Paul Fenton. Uden is sent flying by Miller. Back in the lead zone. Domfus loses it. Moving right in. A shot. Good save by Bester on Zamnok. Puck sent the length of the ice. Miller and Domfus battle for it, side of the goal. Uden to the point, Kerbers. Back on the stick of Uden, and he just dumps it out for Dynamo. Nearing the midway mark of the first period, it's 1-0 Toronto. Richardson's pass off a skate. Big defenseman has it back to Miller. Now to Fenton. Domfus moving in, couldn't get a stick on the puck. As Stalenkov dove up. Richardson from the point, his shot drifts wide. Fenton behind the goal. Puts it in front. And Sorokin has it for Dynamo. To Uden. Pass to Womakin. Andreyevsky is trailing on the play. Womakin around. But a backhand shot. Good save by Bester. Loose puck in front. A shot. Bester down.
It's going to count it a goal, I think, Bruce.
Merowelli, I think, is ruling it a goal.
Merowelli was close enough to tip it in. There was a Russian player in the crease and tangled up with Bester when the shot was made. It was a long 3-on-2 by the Russians, and you cannot give any Russian team I've ever seen the odd man advantage through the neutral zone. And here's the end of the 3-on-3 now. Bester makes the first save, and look where he is. As he's trying to get up, he makes the next save, but I think his hand is in the net when he catches it. And Merowelli was in great position to make the call. So we've had 2 rather weird goal calls here early in this game.
Filimonov gets credit for the goal at 10:23. The red light never did go on, but Merowelli was right there to rule it a goal, and it's a 1-1 tie.
You can see the goal judge would be looking back through the Russian player and Bester and may not have seen it. Merowelli was right on the goal line and made the call immediately.
Todd Gill to Michel Petit. He gives it to Gill at center on the left side to Broughton with room. A slap shot kicked away by Stalenkov, and it goes to Heiderov. Heiderov with Dorofeyev. Play broken up. Opekin from the left point. Todd Gill gives it to Lucien Deblois. Merwat checked at the line. Deblois following up, and the Leafs are offside on the play. Leafs and Dynamo tied at 1.
23-year-old Dmitry Filimonov.
And the head coach, Vladimir Yurzanov, standing right behind him. A 1-1 tie, 8:43 left in the first period. Yakubov shoots it in. Dave Hannon sends Reed away for the Leafs. Reed trying to make a move. He was bumped by Botan. And Yakubov gets it to the point. Iafrate still controlling for the Leafs. Tried to make a play at the side of the net for Hannon. He checked Korolev. Boughton for Dynamo. His pass didn't get out. Here's Hannon right in front. A shot from McGuire and a big save by Stolenkov on Kevin McGuire. Now 10 for Dynamo. He shoots the puck down the ice. Godinyak giving chase and icing on Dynamo.
So Kevin McGuire could not get the puck up after taking a nice pass from Hannon, or the score would be 2-1. It was a nice stop by Stolenkov. The Soviets get trapped here with a giveaway. Now watch the pass. The other Soviet defenseman had a blowout there, and if McGuire had gone up, I think he would have scored. But the Russian goalie got across the net very quickly. And McGuire knows better than anybody as he's telling Hannon, why didn't I go into the roof with that shot?
McGuire looking for his second goal against Soviet competition. Staymack will take the draw against Krushelnyski. Won by big number 26, but the puck slides back in the Leaf zone. Richardson had Kovalev after him. Sacco at center. Across to Tom Kerbers. He slaps it in to the Dynamo zone. Richardson along the boards. Rolls it behind the goal for Krushelnyski. Off the side of the net. Frolov was there. Now Kramskoy into the corner. Gives it to Staymack. Pass on the left side for Leonov. Andrei Kovalev, the right winger, the leading goal scorer for Dynamo this season. Kerbers to Krushelnyski. Sacco is trailing the play. Krushelnyski gets around Kramskoy. Puts it through the slide. Score! Pearson.
Rob Pearson gets his first NHL goal, although it's not going to show in the NHL guide, as he picked up a rebound after some very fancy stick handling by Mike Krushelnyski. He was very nervous. I talked to him before the game. He was very nervous about his debut. Look at this move here. Krushelnyski maybe wouldn't try that in the National League, but did here. And there's Rob Pearson off the left post and in. 37 Pearson goes into the slot and picks up this pass and puts it in that net to make it 2-1 Leafs.
Little celebrating going on.
Who wouldn't celebrate when you score in your first game in the National Hockey League?
Fine play by Krushelnyski to set him up, and the Leafs have regained the lead. It's 2-1. Dom Foose, forced back by Zamnov. Got to center. Uden broke the play up. Zamnov in his own zone. Sorokin gives it to Andrei Lomakin. He skates through center. Long shot kicked away by Bester. Petit into the corner. Off the boards for Fenton. That's intercepted by Zamnov, who's dumped by Michel Petit. Todd Gill for Paul Fenton. He backhands it to the Dynamo line. Sorokin looking for Lomakin. Petit right back in for Toronto. 6:25 left first period. 2-1 Maple Leafs. Andreyevsky to Lomakin. He goes to the corner after it. Grabbed by Gill. Andreyevsky behind the net. Penalty upcoming to the Leafs. Lomakin using the referee as a pick. And finally, play is called. Dynamo power play coming up.
One of the areas the Leafs have really improved in penalty killing.
So they do against the Soviets. Galchenyuk's shot goes wide. Heideroff back to Galchenyuk. Feeds Philemon off the shot. He scores the second goal of the first period.
Filimonov has 4 goals in 27 games in the Russian League, but 2 tonight. He walked in off the point and beat Besser with about a 32-footer. Besser didn't have much chance at all on it. But what happens is the Leafs, 3 Leaf penalty killers get inside the hash mark, and then it's too far of a trip to get out to the point man. That was Lucien Deblois' responsibility. By the time he got there, this big guy had taken 1 step and pulled the trigger to tie this game at 2-2.
Dynamo not that big a team, but Filimonov and Andreyevsky. Broughton a shot and the save by Stolinkov. He tries to hang on to the puck. He juggled it a little bit, but does force a face-off to his right.
And we've showed this young man a couple of times. He has both goals for his team. Aaron Broughton had a reasonable chance coming off the wing and tried to go between the legs of the Russian goalie. It hit the top of his stick and went up in the air, and he fielded it like an outfielder.
Broughton has 6 points in 17 games since coming over from Quebec. Deblois and Samac for the face-off. Frolov starting out for Dynamo. We're near the 15-minute mark in the first. Play stopped at the line by Marois. Kramskoy to Frolov. Now to Samac. Back for Andrei Kovalev. He was bumped by Goodeniuk, wearing number 93 for Toronto. I think he's the only 93 in the league, isn't he, Harry? He sure is. Some of these teams running out of numbers. Deblois. Out to center, Frolov for Dynamo to Samac. Leonot takes a bump from Iafrate. Aaron Broughton to Deblois. He turns in his own zone for the Leafs. Now fires it in to the Dynamo zone. Frolov. To Kramskoy. Kramskoy picks it up behind the goal. Lomakin. To Frolov. Dynamo having trouble moving it past center. Dave Hannon took a hit from Zamnock. Dave Reed a shot from a bad angle. That's kicked away by Stolinkov. Kevin McGuire. Dumped the Dynamo player. Lomakin into Leaf territory. He hands it off. Andreyevsky a shot, and that's grabbed by Alan Benster. He holds on. It's 2-2 at the Garden. Moscow beginning its NHL tour tonight here at Maple Leaf Gardens in a 2-2 tie with 4:06 left in the first period. Michel Petit to Joe Sacco. He shoots it into the Dynamo zone. Pearson left the puck in the corner, and it's cleared by Galchenyuk. He was trying to send Dorofayev in alone. Stolinkov into the corner. Pearson kicks it behind the goal. Kopikin around the board. Gill keeps it in for the Leafs. Krushelnyski in front. Sacco a shot over top of the goal. Out comes Galchenyuk. He gives it to Kopikin. Shot high and wide. And Krushelnyski tips it out. Filimonov with both goals for Dynamo in the first. Gives it to Galchenyuk. He was stopped by Krushelnyski at the line. Pearson works over Filimonov. Just outside the Leaf bench. Petit's pass behind Gill. Dorofayev pokes it into the corner, then lost it to Gill. He sends it up the boards for Paul Fenton, and he just dumps it out for Toronto. 2:49 left in the first period. Goodeniuk. To Al Iafrate. Mike Miller off the boards for Dom Foose, and play called on the offside.
One thing to remember, if this is the first game you're watching in this tour, that they've waived the stick rule. Here are the players that have been drafted to play for the Dynamo team. And you can see that all these players are 23 years or younger. And we'll probably see a couple of those in this league before long, as if you've got the money, the Russian players have the time these days.
A lot of players on Hemik area had big shots, and as you were saying, no stick rule, big curves.
They've waived the curvature, half-inch curvature rule the NHL has for this tour, so many of the Soviet players have a stick that would be illegal by NHL rules.
Puck still in the Leaf zone. Korolev kept it onside. Iafrate. That's in front of his own goal with Korolev right after him. Godinyak. Benton finally gets it out for Toronto. Korolev brings it right back in. Sidesteps a check from Fenton. Miller flips it out to center. Karpatsev off the board. Fenton was going to the bench. And it's brought into Godinyak. Broughton through center for Toronto. For Lucien Debluoff. Frolov picks it up. 1:39 left in the first period. Leonov. Ridden to the ice by Richardson. Lead pass for Marois. Gives it to Broughton into the slot. Side of the goal to Debluoff. Back to Broughton. A shot, and that's kicked away by Stalenkov. Richardson at the point. Puck high on the glass. And the Leafs called on an offside. 1:13 remaining in the first. Leafs and Soviets 2-2.
Here's the Russian stick rack. And you can see, although it's not as clear there as maybe you'd like, that some of those sticks, there's one that's probably illegal. And for all we know, a couple of the Leafs may have snuck a sneaker in there that isn't quite passable in their next game against Minnesota on Thursday night.
Zamnoff wins the draw from Hannon. Sorokin to Zamnoff. He drops it off to Uden. His pass hit the stick of Hannon. Lomakin spins around at center. Less than a minute to go in the first in a 2-2 tie. McGuire to Dave Hannon. Reed breaking for the net, and he got his stick on it. But again, Stalenkov came diving across for Dynamo. Sorokin around the boards and out for Dynamo. The tee to Todd Gill. He shoots it in. Stalenkov stops it behind the net. Uden up the boards for Lomakin. Uden. Lead pass for Zamnoff. That play broken up, and Petit dumps it out for the Leafs with 24 seconds left in the first. Sorokin gets a return pass from Galchenyuk. Dorofeyev tips it in for Dynamo. Puck came right in front. Dorofeyev was tied up, and the Leafs' Krushelnyski sends Sakoway on the left side with 5 seconds. Drop pass to Gill, the shot, and the save by Stalenkov, who didn't come out to challenge as the horns down to end the first period.
Well, a very friendly period, a couple of body checks, but not much in the way of intensity. Some nice passes, a couple of weird goals, and it's 2-2 after the first period of this game here on New Year's Day.
Coming right up, Grant Pollock will talk with Lee. A couple of disputed goals in the first. This was the second one by Dynamo.
Now, Vester makes the save, but he stops it when he's in the net. And you can see Marawelli right there pointing, saying, Alan, you got the puck, but it's over the line. And the Russian player was behind Vester. He had been thrown into the net on the first scramble.
Stalenkov for the Dynamo squad faced 11 shots in the first period, while Alan Vester in the Leafs net faced a total of 9. Dmitry Filimonov with both goals for Dynamo tonight. Dave Hannon and Rob Pearson, the rookie, have scored for the Leafs. And we're just about set to start the second period. Dom Foose, Fenton, and Miller for the Leafs against Semak, Kovalev, and Leonov for Dynamo. Godinyak into the corner for Fenton. He bumps with Kovalev. Iafrate behind his net. Godinyak pokes it ahead to Miller. Frolov to Kramskoy. Miller overskated the puck at center. Semak slides it into the Leaf zone. Godinyak one-hands it in front. Miller for Fenton. Now Godinyak brings it out for Toronto. He bumped with Andrei Kovalev near center. Studniak to the open wing to Mike Miller. Aaron Broughton a long shot, and that's left easily by Stolinkov, who just had a stint with the Soviet national squad. Mike Miller couldn't get anywhere at center against Kramskoy. Miller again, a long shot, and once again into the glove of Stolinkov. Lomakin sends it down the boards. Zamnov missed Andreyevsky with a pass. Lomakin picks it up again. Zamnov, the center, has Lomakin with him. Andreyevsky is trailing the play, and Lomakin is knocked to the ice by Richardson. Andreyevsky to the side of the net, and Richardson was there again for Toronto. 1.5 minutes gone in the second period, a 2-2 tie. Sorokin to Andreyevsky, and he's upended by Kerbers. Uden pins Kerbers on the boards, Reed in the slot, and the puck just came out. Lomakin lost the puck to Dave Hannon, but Sorokin was there for Dynamo. Marois at the point. Hannon let the puck go, and Alexander Uden comes up the boards, gives it to Dorofayev. He's stopped by Marois, and the checking is tight to start the second period. And the Leafs called on a 2-line offside pass.
Well, let's have a look at what happened out west in the World Junior Tournament. Canada, Dick Todd and the Canadian team beat the Finns 5-1. The USA with 18 late goals nipped Norway 19-1. And in a very big game as far as Canada's concerned tonight, the Soviets and Czechs play, and that game is not underway yet.
Here at Maple Leaf Gardens, 2:04 gone in the second period, a 2-2 tie. Kopikin backhands it into the Leaf zone. Todd Gill behind the net. Dolomonov back in his own zone for Dynamo. McGuire forechecking for the Leafs. Dorofayev. To Dolomonov behind the goal. Now to the captain, Kopikin. Dorofayev with Galchenyuk and Hyderov. Shot by Dorofayev went off the stick of Petit and high into the seats. Those Tyrons coming.
The most outdated piece of literature in Canada is the Leaf Yearbook. Here are the new Leafs since October the 4th. And you can see that they are a much changed team. This guy was in the yearbook, but he wasn't the head man.
Floyd Smith not being criticized quite as much, but the Leafs playing much better.
And they get some pretty good-looking players back soon. Wendell Clark, perhaps Thursday night in Minnesota. They say that Lehman might play Saturday. Tom Fergus is skating. Ramage is over the flu.
That should all spell trouble for the North Stars. Leafs just 3 points back with a game in hand. Krushelnyski trying to set up Sacco in front. Dolomonov. Pass on the right side to Dorofayev. Drop for Kopikin. And that poked away for Pearson, and he's beaten to the puck by Stolinkov as they had a collision. Dorofayev looking for Galchenyuk. Iafredi starts back for the Leafs with Pearson. Leaves the puck for Sacco. He goes around Filimonov and then lost the puck to Hyderov. Kopikin slowly to center. Long shot off the stick of Bester. Andreyevsky into the corner after it. He bumps with Kerbers. Vincent Domfus for Toronto. To Mike Miller. Vince was saying doesn't know whether he'll be involved in the shootout. Think there's a pretty good chance. Miller along the boards. To Kerbers at the point. He backhands it into the corner. Miller through the slot off Andreyevsky's stick. Pressure here by the Leafs. Miller in the corner. Behind the net for Paul Fenton. He centers it. And a backhand by Domfus. He was on his knees and he sent it wide. Kerbers Behind the goal for Fenton. He's there with Karpatsev. Long lead pass, and here's the break for Dynamo. Korolev moving in, shoots, shot, save by Alan Bester. Big save by the Leafs Bester to keep the score knotted at 2.
Typical Russian play, a long pass up the middle, right through the face-off dot, and two, not one, but two Russians get away. Richardson puts a little heat just as the Russian shoots it, but Alan Bester, just like picking cherries, makes the best stop by either goaltender so far tonight.
Face off to the left of Bester. Deblois and Samak. Aaron Broughton moving early. Hodges drops it in. Leonov goes to the boards with Deblois. Gill working over Andrei Kovalev, who continues to work. Gives it to Samak. Stand on his pass, and Gill moves it up the boards for Marois. Kramskoy trying to pinch, and the puck comes out to the Dynamo line. Kramskoy. Lead pass for Kovalev. He's taken to the boards by Gill. Michel Petit. Up the boards for Marois. He can't dump it out. Petit to center. He put it on Leonov's stick. Andreevsky hits Samak to the backhand. Got a shot away off the stick of Gill. Deblois off the boards. Here's Uden moving in for Dynamo. The shot! And Bester makes a good save. Marois off the glass, and the puck goes into the crowd.
Well, Samak is the leading scorer, as we mentioned at the top of the show, and he is a dangerous customer with the puck. 5'9", 185, which is about the normal size for most of the Russian forwards on this team. Not tall, quite strong for their height. And this guy not only leads the scoring this year, but led the team with goals last year. And currently is 5th in the scoring in the Russian league.
They just completed stage 1 of their season. Still another stage to come in the Soviet Union. Lomakin dumps it into the Leaf zone. 6 minutes gone in the second period. A 2-2 tie. That was the score after 1. Andreevsky waiting for help from Zamnov and a whistle from referee Dan Maroelli.
Well, the Moscow Dynamo is an athletic club, and the players that play on this team live on a site where they have training camp about 40 miles from Moscow. They stay there, and the coach gives them time to go home every once in a while. They are fed there. And the interpreter was telling me this morning that they get much better food there than they would at home. And as a result, all of them think it's a good idea to stay there. They make about 600 rubles a month. The average Russian makes 300 rubles. And if you want to buy a video recorder in Russia, it costs 10,000 rubles. So you can see that the times are tough in Russia. These players get a chance to get out of there and get their hands on some hard currency with which they buy some products out of Russia which they never could get here.
Alexander Gudniak will get his hands on some hard currency now that he's a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You had a look at backup goalie Jeff Reese, and he's set to relieve Alan Bester at the midway mark of this second period. Bester's made a couple of fine saves here in the second period to keep the score knotted at 2. Galchenyuk, number 15, will take the draw against Krushelnyski. Big Mike, who played on 3 Stanley Cup winners with the Oilers. Stolinkov out to center. Luke Richardson right back in for the Leafs. Popekin behind his goal. Lead pass to Galchenyuk.
You can see, Bruce, that one of the strategic changes the Russian coach made in the first intermission was to get them to try some longer passes up the middle. They've got people away once for breakaways and have had nice long breakout passes using that strategy. If they're picked off, it'll be a breakaway against them.
And Joe Sacco nearly had one. Galchenyuk to Dorofayev. He stops along the board. Got it to the point, but it came past Filimonov. Popekin. Watched by Krushelnyski. He just shoots the puck down the ice. Tom Kerber's back to touch it. 12:45 is the time left in the second period. It's 2-2.
Well, last year's championship by this team was the 3rd time that they have won the Soviet title. And as I mentioned earlier, 13 times before last year, Red Army won it. Red Army does not get all the players anymore. They may get them for a year or two when they draft them into the Army, but then to keep them after 2 years, they have to purchase them from the club teams. So they aren't going to be the powerhouse necessarily year after year after year the way they have been in Russia.
Face off to the right of Stolinkov. Boughton up the boards to Andreevsky. He gives it to Korolev. To Yakubov. Back to Korolev, who was stopped on a breakaway earlier in the period. Karpatsev, a shot that drifted wide of the net. And Donfus tips it out. Karpatsev at center off the boards. Fenton was there. Scored 32 goals last season for the Winnipeg Jets. Paul Fenton. Luke Richardson flips it in wide. Boughton to the point. Here's Yakubov with Andreevsky. Karpatsev trailing the play. Yakubov tried to do it himself. And Petit has the puck. Around the boards to Mike Miller. Korolev. Long shot. Fester the save, and a rebound goes to Gill. He coughs it up in front to Samak. Rolls it in front. And Kovalev couldn't get a shot away as he was tied up by Michel Petit.
Well, the Russians are moving a little faster and passing a little crisper, and the Leafs have slowed up a little. We were talking about championships in Russia. Red Army has won 32 of them. And the next 4 games on our Soviet Tour telecast will involve the Red Army, who have some of the very fine young players in the Soviet Union, and they'll be severely tested traveling through the Smythe division. But you'll be able to see all those games on these same stations.
It's going to take a while for some of those other teams to catch up to the Red Army.
You know, they're only drawing 2,000 or 3,000 fans in Russia, and one of the big problems for these club teams who have lost their financial help from the government, now they have to do it on their own, and that's exactly why they're selling players to the National League. And I think we'll see more of them coming over, like Gudniak, who was, I think Floyd Smith was saying he gave the team, or will give the team if he does make the National League, about $100,000 in hard cash. And without it, they can't operate a program.
Todd Gill to Aaron Broughton. And against Kramskoy, he dropped it, put it on Leonov's stick. Andrei Kovalev to Samak, edge of the circle, he shoots, scores!
Well, Alan Vester has let more than his share of goals in through his legs, and that one was no exception. Samak really pulled the trigger. But you could see that Vester was a little upset with himself for letting it go in. He said it a lot of times. Vester's a small goalie. He gets into that crouch, and sometimes he's got the corners covered a little bit, but he can't get his legs back together to stop the shot. And with 10:57 left in the second period, the leading scorer in this team puts one in to make it 3-2.
Jeff Reese continues to warm up, and he'll be in the net shortly, as Dynamo has its first lead at 3-2. Here they come again. Lomakin in front. And they just let the puck go to the net. Andrzejewski bangs his stick on the ice because he didn't get a shot away.
Well, the Russian team is starting to get their legs a little bit, and the Toronto Maple Leafs had better pick up the intensity or this game is going to get away on them.
Here's Reed with McGuire. It's a shot! The save by Stolenkov. McGuire can't believe it, as Stolenkov keeps it out. And Dynamo still leads the hockey game 3-2.
Millions of great plays.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mr. Samak, not nice on national television, but we did catch that smile, and you don't see many of the Russian players smiling. This guy scored a goal in last year's Dynamo victory over the Leafs, 7-4 here at Maple Leaf Gardens. This is the fourth time that Moscow Dynamo team has toured North America, and their record up to, but not including tonight, is 7-5-2.
Goodniak at the left point. Around the boards for Dave Reed. In the corner for McGuire. He let it go to Hannon. Galchenyuk with McGuire. Filimonov picks it up. His pass went off Reed. McGuire and Hannon forechecking for the Leafs. Dave Reed keeps it in. And now it's poked out by Filimonov. Galchenyuk to Popikin. Off the boards to Hyderov. His pass behind Galchenyuk at center. Filimonov sends it in for Dynamo. Dorofeyev. Back to Popikin into the corner. Dorofeyev trying to roll it in front. Galchenyuk back to Dorofeyev, and he can't get a shot away as Godinyak was there for the Leafs. Alaya Brady trying a rush. Got as far as the Leaf line. And Hyderov brought it in on the offside. 10:33 has been played in the second period. It's 3-2 Dynamo.
And Jeff Reese is now coming in to replace Alan Vester, who gave up 3 goals and made some pretty good stops. Jeff Reese has a record this year of 2-7-1, 4.35 goals against average. Went down to Newmarket after hurting his knee and played some games, but the way Peter Ing's been playing, Reese can't get in the goal. So he'll get 30 minutes of game atmosphere right now. And Alan Vester made some big stops, and I think he only could have been criticized for letting that last one in, and it was a pretty hard shot.
Vester faced 13 shots in the game. Stolenkov stays in goal for Dynamo, and he's seen 14 so far tonight. Reese handling the puck for the first time to Luke Richardson. Sacco tips it to center. Karpatsa for Dynamo. Korolev lost it to Sacco, now to Tom Kerbers. He's also had a tough time fitting into the Leaf lineup with them playing so well defensively. Rob Ramage, the captain, out with the flu tonight. And Dave Ellett also not dressed on defense for the Leafs as Kerbers touches the puck, and it's icing against Dynamo.
Well, I'm sure that Tom Kerbers would like to play a lot more, even if it means going to another team. And the Toronto Maple Leafs need for a center iceman, where they do have more than their share of players who can play in the league, is on defense. If Goodniak comes through and looks like he can play, Shannon's playing very well in Newmarket. Marsh could still play in the league. So they got 8 or 9 defensemen that Tom Watt could use, and I think he'd like to use one of them to get a center.
Harry Neal has a feeling there may be a few deals in the NHL in the next few days.
Yeah, there are a number of teams now that have to get something going, or they're going to get themselves in trouble in their own division. The general managers are all meeting for their annual get-together in Phoenix next week. So when you get 21 general managers talking about what their team needs, quite often you see the odd trade come out of it.
Harry, too bad you lost your general manager's job. They always meet where you can play golf in the winter.
Yeah, that's not a coincidence, I can tell you that. But they do spend a lot of time meeting, and even on the golf course. A businessman will tell you, Bruce, some of the biggest deals in the world are made on golf courses.
Andre Kovalev tried to feed Leonov. He attempted to sweep it in front. Paul Fenton for Toronto.
Very difficult for the Leafs to play their style if they're not up to the game, get thinking about it all day, and play with lots of intensity, because playing good defensive hockey isn't much fun, and they're not playing like they have played lately this evening.
Fenton behind the goal to Miller. To the backhand. He was hooked on the play by Kramskoy, and Leonov gives it to Andreevsky. Trying to use his big reach on Goodniak. Aaron Broughton to Michel Petit. 7:28 to go, second period. 3-2 Dynamo. Sorokin. Pass at center for Lomakin. Goodniak for Marois. Sorokin to Andreevsky. Lomakin trailing the play. Andreevsky a shot taken high by Reese, and he holds on for a draw. The Leafs trailing 3-2.
Well, there's one reason why the Leaf defense core is playing better, the addition of Michel Petit. He's been tough, he's contributed offensively, and he's been much more consistent than he was in Quebec early this season, and that has really helped the Toronto Maple Leaf defense through.
Petit, with his 4th NHL team, now has 201 points in his career. Now Iafrate. Rolls it in for Deblois, goes to the net. And he put it through the crease. Sorokin knocked down Aaron Broughton, and the Leafs will go to the power play for the first time tonight. Interference will be the call on Sorokin.
22-year-old, 6'1", 190-pounder really took Broughton into the net. And here's the chance. Deblois jumps by the silver. Oh, there's the penalty right there.
2 minutes for interference. Time 13.
And the Leafs get a power play opportunity with 6:51 left in the second period to tie this game up. And Sergei Sorokin will take an interference penalty.
Leafs power play working at close to 15% clip, 14.9 in the NHL.
And it has improved up to 16th or 18th spot after being mired deeply in 21st, and at home they're in 16th spot. So special teams have improved, but when you get as badly in the hole as they got in the first 25 games, it takes another 25 to even get back to being where you're at all respectable.
And as most teams, a little better at home than on the road with the man advantage. Todd Gill to Mike Miller. Krushelnyski in the slot. Sacco also on the Leaf power play. Miller. A high pass to Gill at the point. Back for Miller. To Sacco for Krushelnyski. Return pass to Sacco. Kopikin. Around the glass. Todd Gill was waiting, and it's poked by him by Galchenyuk. He's with Heideroff. 2-on-1 across the Heideroff. The shot, and he missed the goal. Soviets nearly scoring shorthanded. Sacco drives it in. Krushelnyski in the corner. At the point to Tom Kerbers. The slap shot pad saved by Stalenkov. And he hangs on with Joe Sacco after the rebound.
Todd Gill, who has played some of the best hockey I've seen him play in the last 12 or 13 games, has a tough time deciding on this play whether to pinch in or not. And he ends up doing neither, backing out or pinching in, and gets badly caught for a 2-on-1. Well played back here. And the Russian number 21 didn't make a great attempt at scoring on Heideroff. And Todd Gill, who really has blossomed under Tom Watt when he was at the end of his career almost with Doug Carpenter, and has played quite nicely in defense and has played aggressively and much smarter than he was earlier in the year.
Kerber's shot hits Stamak's stick. He turns and dumps the puck down the ice. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Sorokin. 3-2, Dynamo leading. And Dynamo does have a goal on the power play tonight. That by Filimonov in the first. Domfus working down the boards, goes behind the net. Setting up on the Leafs power play. Iafrate from the left point. A weak shot. Marois pass behind Domfus. Iafrate Couldn't get to the front of the goal. Frolov off the boards and down the ice.
That attempt by Iafrate to stick handle by two guys, I mean, that's just not concentrating at all. And the Leafs have to concentrate with every stride they take if they're going to be any good, and that's what's hurting them tonight.
Paul Fenton for Domfus under his stick.
Can't blame them in the way. They're trying madly to catch Minnesota and stay ahead of Quebec, and this game doesn't mean anything. But still, it shows what I've been trying to tell you tonight, that mental intensity is vital for the Leafs.
Dynamo back at full strength. Leafs 0 for 1 with the man advantage, and Dynamo called for icing. Semak has given Dynamo the lead here in the second. You taking it, Harry, or me?
You take it, Bruce.
Thank you.
I don't want to hog it.
Just one goal in the second period, that by Alexander Semak of Dynamo. And they lead 3-2 with 4:43 to go in period 2. Semak, one of the stars on this Dynamo squad.
Played in 3 World Junior tournaments, so lots of young Canadian players have played against him before.
Michel Petit flips it into the corner for Dave Reed. McGuire and Hannon behind the goal with Zamnot. And the Soviet comes out with the puck, then he's grabbed and hauled down by McGuire. And Dynamo will go to the power play for the second time tonight. They have scored on the power play and lead 3-2.
We're on the penalty, number 18, Kevin McGuire, 2 minutes for holding. Time 15:35. Kevin McGuire for holding. Time 16:35.
Move by McGuire to earn himself a holding penalty may be very popular in one of the many U.S. college football games played today, but it's a no-go in the National Hockey League, and he did it within about 9 feet of Mr. Marawelli. There's the coaching staff. Well, you can't get away with making a mistake if you play for one of these Russian teams. There's 6 guys taking notes every time you're out there.
Tough to hide when you go to the bench.
You're not kidding.
Dynamo on a power play, leading 3-2. Pass too far ahead for Zamnot. Jeff Reese, who replaced Alan Bester at the halfway mark of the period, cleared it to the point. Lomakin hops on it for Dynamo. To Andreyevsky. As Dynamo sets up, Andreyevsky showing patience. Sorokin to Zamnot. The slap shot, and that's kicked away by Jeff Reese. Andreyevsky to assistant captain Lomakin, hits Uden. He tried to set up Andreyevsky in front. Iafrate blocked the pass, and the Leafs clear it.
He really jolted Uden. He got him in the middle of the shot. And those hurt because you're concentrating getting the shot or the pass away, and he ran into all of Al Iafrate.
Dorofayev nearly lost it at center to Hannon. Drops it off to Zamnov. Didn't get much on the pass. Popekin moving up for the shot, and a late whistle from linesman Ron Finn, who has his family here tonight.
And the captain here, Popekin, does not agree with Ron Finn's decision as whether that puck came out or not. But perhaps he doesn't have the linguistic wherewithal to voice his displeasure to Mr. Finn.
51 seconds left in the penalty to Kevin McGuire. Petit hit Reed in the skate. Dorofayev drops it back. Here's Popekin. Rink-wide pass to Galchenyuk. Down the boards, Dorofayev to Silimonov. Back to Dorofayev. Silimonov at the point. Dorofeyev, edge of the circle. Tupolpekin on the other side. A slap shot and an easy save for Jeff Reese. Hannon can't backhand it out. Galchenyuk. Filimonov in from the point. Lost the puck at the last moment, and Hannon shoots it down the ice. Just 5 seconds to go on this Dynamo power play. 2:25 in the period. Popeykin into the Leaf zone, checked at the line. Galchenyuk, his shot was blocked, slid to the front of the goal, and it's Richardson for Toronto. Soviets intercept. Galchenyuk in front. Dorofeyev scores!
Well, a very pretty goal by the Dynamo team from Moscow, but it resulted after a bad giveaway. The Leafs got the puck almost out, and 4 Leafs were heading out thinking this puck was going, but it never made it. Look at all the Leafs going in the wrong direction. One pass, and then he makes a move here that Baryshnikov would be proud of. Here's the giveaway right here. And after the giveaway, here's the pass, drop pass, another pass, and then this guy puts the puck past Jeff Reese, who was left in an awful tough spot. Great stick handling.
Dorofeyev's first Super Series goal, and it's 4-2 as Reese made a blocker save on Yakubov. Sacco fell down as he raced for the puck.
Sacco's played some good hockey for the Leafs, but he hasn't scored yet. He has 5 assists. He's smart, he's quick, and he's a goal scorer, or has been everywhere else, but he's had tough luck. And there was a good example. He might have got something there, but he tripped.
Soviets steal it again. Korolev for Yakubov. The shot, good save by Reese. Andreyevsky jamming away at it. And Reese able to cover up, but a couple of giveaways by the Leafs defense, and it nearly cost them another goal.
And Luke Richardson, who was in on the Soviet goal, their 4th goal of the night, nearly got himself another negative assist as he overskates the puck right here. All he has to do is flip it out. It's only 3 feet from the blue line. He can't. And this Russian here, he must have thought he was on Lake Ontario. Look at the time he takes. Where is everybody? I'll shoot it, he says, and he nearly scores. But the Leafs have fallen asleep. And it's just, it's tough. Real tough when you play 80 games and you have to win every one of them, as the Leafs seem to do to make the playoffs, to waltz in here and play a friendly match and not make some mistakes that you wouldn't normally make.
Down to 1:15 in the second period. Puck is dumped down the ice, and they'll bring it back into the Leaf zone for another faceoff.
One of the longest hockey sticks I've seen play by anybody is used by this fellow here, Frolov. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. Calgary's 231st pick in '89. And look at the length of that stick. 2 trees, I'm sure, to make that stick. And he can handle the puck with it. He reminds me of Ulf Samuelsson, or Shell Samuelsson from Philly. A big, long guy.
Kramskoy slap shot off a stick. And the fans at that end of the gardens were ducking as the puck went rocketing in there.
6'4", and his stick is 6'3". I don't think there's another, there is a legal length of a stick in the National League. Now, I see that tape between his hands. Surely that's not 2 shafts taped together, Bruce, is it? I don't see any Russians using aluminum sticks. And I haven't when we did the Himmick game either. You can look, Bruce, from the Red Army to see if there's any of them, but perhaps that fad has not hit Russia yet.
I'll let you know, Harry. Vince Domfus. To Miller at center. He was checked. Domfus again for Toronto, going wide. Takes a shot from a bad angle and an easy save for Stalenkov. And the Soviets give it away. Domfus to Petit. Moves in from the right point. Couldn't get set for a shot, and it deflected just wide. Andrei Kovalev to Stamak. One-on-one against Todd Gill. Checked at the line. Mike Miller. 27 seconds remaining in the period. Leonov to Frolov. Back to Leonov around Domfus at the line. Goes for the net. But had it swept off his stick by Todd Gill. He rolls the puck down the ice. Stolenkov comes out to play it. And the clock is down to 6 seconds. For the shootout. Very interesting part of the NHL Superseries. Action is fast and furious in the shootout.
Yeah, that's been a very popular addition to this. 5 players from each team at the start of the third period take penalty shots. And we see some pretty good-looking goals or some pretty good-looking goaltending. Some teams use that to decide who gets the extra point at the end of a tied game.
Can the Leafs put Bester back in, or does Reese have to play good?
I think that they can nominate either goaltender. They might think of dressing Peter Ring and just using him for the shootout.
Sorokin controls off the draw and backhands it down the ice.
Well, as I expected, the Moscow Dynamo team skated a lot better that period. Most often, I'm a little wondering a little bit why Zamnov's taking it, and the Leafs have selected players. I don't think any of those will be a surprise. Joe Sacco might be, but I'm sure they want to see if he can get a goal in the National Hockey League, and this is one way to try. Mike Miller's a good goal scorer. Domfus leads the team. Marois has really been in an awful slump. 3 goals in his last 18 games.
Alan Bester back in goal for the Leafs, and Andrei Trepalov, the backup, goes for Dynamo in the shootout.
And these are penalty shots. The same rules apply for penalty shots. The goalie can't come out of the crease till the player touches the puck.
NHL Superseries. There will be a penalty shot style shootout between the 2 teams. Each team has selected 5 shooters which will alternate shots. With Moscow Dynamo.
Paul Morris explaining the rules of the shootout to the fans here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Trepalov loosening up.
Continue with new shooters.
Trepalov has not had a warm-up. He did not play either the first 2 periods. Unless they were shooting some pucks at him in the hallway outside the dressing room. He hasn't seen the puck so far tonight. And Alan Bester came out with about 9 minutes left in the second period, was replaced by Jeff Reese. But maybe Tom Watts figures Alan Bester's a better breakaway-type goaltender than Reese is. He did make a nice stop on a breakaway.
Of the 10 games played so far in the Soviet Super Series with the NHL, the National League leading 6-4. The Red Army won the shootout today in Chicago, as well as the game 4-2.
Number 32.
Now, I mentioned earlier that I think the International Hockey League, if a game's tied after overtime, they have a shootout to decide who gets the point. They each get a point for a tie. The extra point goes to the team that wins the shootout.
There's the Leaf cheering section on the bench. The players that are involved are on the ice, and here we go with the shootout. Stamack leads it off for Dynamo against Alan Bester. And a good save by Bester as Stamack went to the backhand.
I think your best bet to score on this is to shoot it and not try and deke the goaltender, because the goaltender is backing up pretty quickly. And when you look up 15 feet out, he's out of the net, but when you get there, he's back in.
Here's Marois against Trepalov. And Trepalov kicked it out, and Marois went crashing into the boards. Both teams 0 for 1. You might recall in our first telecast, the Canadians failed to score against Cherdyakov of Phoenix.
Can you give a goaltender a tripping penalty on a breakaway?
Andrei Kovalev for Dynamo against Bester. He scores!
Now, one thing Kovalev did that Marois didn't, he got the puck off to the side. Marois had his right in front, so there was no doubt in the eyes of the Soviet goalie that Marois was going to try and deke it. On Kovalev, he had the puck out to the side, and Bester didn't know whether he was going to deke or shoot it.
Leafs leading score. Domfus is robbed by Trepalov. And it's 1-0 for Dynamo in the shootout.
That was a great stop by Trepalov. He's caught.
Leonov for Dynamo. He shoots and Bester gets a piece.
The fans really enjoyed it. They did in Montreal when we did the Himmick game. And all through the Himmick tour in the National League, Darcy Rhoda, who saw all those games representing the National League, told me this was the highlight of many of the games.
Miller for the Leafs. He tried to go high and right over the top of the goal, and everyone was ducking in their living rooms on that shot.
Well, the penalty shot success ratio in the National League is about 36 to 40%. And we're below that here so far.
Andre Lomakin for Dynamo. He shoots a nice shot to the stick side, and they've assured themselves of at least a tie.
Well, when you can get the puck out to the side and out in front of you, you can look at the puck and the net at the same time, and then just flick it by him. That's exactly what he did.
Zacco looking for his first goal. And a pad save by Trepalov. And they'll continue the shootout, but Dynamo will win it leading 2-0, and one shooter to come from each club.
The sixth shooter for Dynamo will be number 26, Alexei Zemna.
The final shooter for Dynamo is Alexei Zemna, number 26. Good move to the forehand, and 3 goals for Dynamo. 3-0 they lead. Red Army winning in Chicago this afternoon, and Dynamo winning tonight in Toronto. See if the Leafs can get one by Trepalov. Mike Krushelnyski.
He'll score, Bruce.
What a forecaster that Harry Neal is Mike Krushelnyski. Make sure the Leafs aren't shut out. Dynamo wins the shootout by a count of 3-1. So Dynamo leads the hockey game 4-2 and wins the shootout 3-1. Trepalov looked pretty good for a guy that hasn't played all night.
And as a reward for shutting down the Leafs 4 to 5 times, he gets to go and watch the rest of the game from the bench. But he did look sharp. Kovalev scores the first goal of the shootout, a nice play. Lomakin, another nice shot. And Bester had no chance. But this guy might be the king of the great Canadian shootout. But that doesn't mean he's going to play.
Third period is underway. Trepalov and Bester are back on the bench. And Reese is in goal, along with Stalenkov. Kovalev. Checked by Richardson. Mike Krushelnyski, who scored the goal in the shootout for the Leafs, brings it out to Pearson. He bats it in to the Dynamo zone. Frolov turning in the corner. Trying to work it up the boards for Kovalev. Krushelnyski at center. He lifts it in. Stalenkov floods it. Leonov couldn't clear it. Domfus, a good move, a shot. Stalenkov, a pad save. He looked cool, making that stop on Domfus.
Stalenkov, 6'1", is a real good stand-up goaltender who cuts the angle down. Soft pads, no big rebounds. He's looked good tonight.
Leonov fired it into the corner, and there's a penalty upcoming. Elbowing.
Richardson got
teeth
in the right forehead, or on the right cheek. He got hit with the puck on that shift and went off. The Leafs take a penalty on the forehead by the look of it. He's a little dazed. The T takes the penalty at the 1-minute mark of the third period for elbowing.
And that's the one thing Tom Watt and the rest of the NHL coaches want to avoid. Not only penalties, but injuries in these exhibition games against the Soviet Club. Looks like Richardson will be all right. And Dynamo, 1 for 2 with the man advantage tonight, have another shot. Leading 4-2, just underway nicely in the third period. Sorokin at the right point. A hard pass off the corner boards. Lomakin failed to pick it up, and it's fired off the glass by Iafredi and down the ice. Stalenkov around the boards for Lomakin. Referee Maruelli got in the way. Sorokin to Uden. Lomakin with Andreevsky. And it's slapped down the ice by Todd Gill. Broughton to the puck first. He let it go, and it's picked up by Dorofeyev, who has the 4th goal tonight for Dynamo. 1:15 in the penalty. to Michel Petit. Sorokin slowly to center. Long slap shot, stick save by Jeff Reed. Todd Gill winding up, and he drives the puck down the ice. Alexander Uden to Filimonov, looking for the hat trick tonight. Filimonov at his own line. Couldn't get a pass across and nearly gave Dave Hannon a shorthanded chance.
Reed and Hannon run a nice job killing penalties. Obviously, Reed with 6 shorthanded goals, but I mean just killing the penalties. Both good jobs for Tom Watt.
Galchenyuk fell down at the Leafs line, and Goodeniuk cleared it to center. Goodeniuk again for the Leafs to Dave Hannon. He sends it into the Dynamo zone. Filimonov behind the goal. 18 seconds to go in the power play, and they have yet to set up. Galchenyuk. Good into the corner boards by Goodeniuk. Dorofeyev lost control of the puck. Deblois ahead to Aaron Broughton. Galchenyuk. Petit out of the box. And Dynamo 1 for 3 with the man advantage. Dorofeyev goes down as he was checked by Deblois. Kopikin to Korolev. He's pushed to the ice by Petit. Tom Curvers for Toronto. Leafs need to mount some offense, trailing by 2. Karpatsev to Yakubov. Poked off his stick by Goodeniuk. Karpatsev rolled it wide of the goal. Fenton dumps it to center. Andreyevsky, a long wrist shot. That drifted wide. Goodeniuk on the end of a long shift couldn't clear it. Domfus on the left side for Fenton. And the play broken up by Yakubov as Miller had snuck behind the defense. Domfus at center to Mike Miller, former Canadian Olympian. He lifts it in to the Dynamo zone. 4 minutes gone in the third period. It's 4-2 Dynamo. Fenton kicks it free. He's bumped by Boughton. Soviets make changes, and Reese gives the puck to Todd Gill, now to Michel Petit. His pass is picked off by Leonov. Reed in front. McGuire couldn't get a stick on it. Petit behind the goal. Frolov to Leonov. And now out of center to Semak. He's with Andrei Kovalev. Knocked off his stick by Dave Hannon. Reed to Hannon. He's with Kevin McGuire. Gives it to McGuire on right wing. Stops in the corner. Behind the net to Reed. Hannon setting up in front. Iafrate from the point. Hannon back in the corner for Kevin McGuire.
11,485 fans here. A pretty good crowd considering the Leafs. This game was not on the Leafs season ticket package. So there's a more significant interest in Toronto in this tournament than in a lot of cities in the National League.
Waited a long time for a whistle. Dynamo leading by 2.
Here's some news from Saskatchewan. The Soviets beating the Czechoslovakians 4-0. Sweden 1-0 over Switzerland. Canada has to play the Czechs before they play the Russians on Friday. And remember, no playoff in that tournament. It's the team with the best record, and Canada has that high on their agenda. So they have to win. They have to win the next 2 games to win the tournament.
Soviets playing strong hockey in the World Junior and leading at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight 4-2. Goes Sacco. To Goodeniuk. Moved it to center. Krushelnyski. He's forced back by Zamnov. Gill to Krushelnyski. He ran into Sorokin at the Dynamo line. Todd Gill back into the Soviet zone. And he was checked by Sorokin. His pass went off Fenton's skate. Lead pass to Andreevsky. Into the slot. He was looking to set up Uden. Back in the corner, Todd Gill to the side of the goal to Tom Kerber. To Domfus. He kicks it back to Paul Fenton. Domfus after a loose puck as Dorofayev failed to clear it. Popikin couldn't move it out. Domfus back to center. Todd Gill dumps it in. Filimonov to Dorofayev. Pass at the Leaf line. Shot by Heideroff and the save by Jeff Reese. The T behind the goal. 7 minutes gone in the third. It's 4-2 Dynamo. Marois backhands it in, puts it right on the stick of Filimonov. Heideroff. Good move on Marois at center. Sends Galchenyuk in. A shot, a low one, and it went just wide. Dorofayev from a bad angle. That's kicked away by Reese. Mike Miller gets around Karpatsov, but the play is broken up by Filimonov. And the Soviets dump it out. Dorofayev giving chase. Reese races out and fired it into the bench, just missing the Leafs coach Kitchen.
No, it's not a penalty when you shoot it where the glass isn't high. There's the Mike Kitchen telling Reese. Came too close. Mike Kitchen, the assistant coach of the Leafs, had a distinguished career as a defenseman. He didn't realize he was going to block another shot. No penalty because the puck was shot out of the rink, but not where the glass exists, just where the bench is. And that's why Jeff Reese didn't get a penalty.
Yakubov for the face-off against Debluoff. 2-2 after one. Couple of goals by the Soviets in the second period. Debluoff. Puck comes to the edge of the crease and it's cleared by Stolenkov. Andreevsky at center. Back to Yakubov. He can't get anywhere. Miller off the boards and out. Karpatsev for Dynamo. Petit left the puck for Goodnyuk, and he just dumps it into the Soviet zone. Karpatsev to Yakubov. Stick handling through center into the Leaf zone, trying to split the defense. Andreevsky turning along the board. Now cuts into the slot. The Yakubov shot off the blocker of Reese. Rebound and the save by Reese on Andreevsky. Back of the point, Kramskoy in the slot for Korolev. Andreevsky after it again, and the puck comes into Reese, who puts his glove on the puck and forces the faceoff.
There's the Russian goalie stick, hot green. Would have gone over good when the lights went off at the Boston Garden. He's been the only player that could find the stick. They don't allow those in the National League to have those colored sticks.
Bothers the shooters too much.
In fact, they're after Gretzky for having one that sparkles. I don't mean sparkles because he uses it so well. Sparkles when you look at it.
Dave Reed moving in on the left wing, a slap shot. Stolenkov the save, and the puck is cleared to center. Got that green stick on it. A shot by Reed. Here he is again for the Leafs. Looking for McGuire. He scores!
Well, McGuire, who's had two great chances tonight, scores on the worst chance of the three of them. And with 10:54 left, perhaps that would breathe a little fresh air into the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have been skating in a semi-coma for about 25 minutes now. Reed forechecks here to cause the turnover. and then tosses it out in front. It hits the side of the net, and in comes McGuire and taps it in. Here's the forechecking by Reed as he takes the puck away from Frolov. He throws it out. He actually missed the pass out, but in comes McGuire. No one with him, and he taps it into the net to make the score 4-3.
9:06, the time of the goal by Kevin McGuire. He has 6 on the year, and the Leafs are within 1. So that should create some excitement for a little over 11,000 fans here at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. They were talking about a crowd of around 8. So a good walk-up crowd tonight. Dave Reed cutting for the net again, puts it in front of the score! Dave Hannon.
And this crowd was not sleeping, as we have most of those 11,000 now standing and cheering as the Leafs strike quickly.
Number 14, Dave Reed.
Reed takes a nice pass right here to get himself started in the clear. Then tosses it back to Dave Hannon right here, who really rips one. And the Soviet goalie heard that shot go by him. He didn't see it. And Hannon scores the second of the night. And it's 4-4. And I think we're going to have a very enjoyable last 10 minutes as the Leafs came back to life with 2 quick goals.
That goal by Dave Hannon came 11 seconds after Kevin McGuire had scored. And it's tied at 4. The fans chanting, "Go, Leafs, go!" I think you're right, Harry. We're in for an entertaining last 10 minutes and 37 seconds.
It's very hard to play this game at this level without enthusiasm. The Leafs have tried that since the first period, and it has not worked. But they have been rejuvenated with those 2 fast goals.
Heiderhoff blasted a shot that went over the glass and into the crowd. Dave Hannon with a couple of goals tonight for Toronto.
And as I said earlier, he had gone 13 consecutive NHL games without a goal, and 2 tonight. So regardless whether these goals count in the standings or not, he's got to feel a lot better about himself. He's played well, and he's had chances, but he hasn't been able to score them until this evening.
And that kid feels a lot better about wearing his Leafs jacket as they come back to tie it. Galchenyuk to Solomonov. He has a pair tonight for Dynamo. Galchenyuk into the Leaf zone with Dorofeyev. Around Gill. Galchenyuk through the crease, a shot, and a good save by Jeff Reese. Kopikin. Dorofeyev was robbed. Soviets beginning to pressure now. Pearson for Sacco. Galchenyuk across to Kopikin just past the midway mark in the third. 2 goals by the Leafs, 11 seconds apart in this period, and it's tied 4-4. Heiderhoff skating through center. Into the Leaf zone, but Dorofeyev was offside on the right wing.
Well, it's a very difficult job for the coach to talk his players into thinking that a game is important once it starts. They didn't even practice this morning, Toronto, on the normal game day skate. They don't play again, as I mentioned, to Thursday, so Saturday to Thursday would have been a nice break. And here you're looking at the line of Reed and Hannon, who's got 2, and McGuire that have turned this game around for Toronto, and they have been the best 3 Leafs offensively. McGuire should have 3 goals as he missed 2 great chances, 1 in the first and 1 in the second period.
It was a great shift for Reed as he set up both of them. Goals by McGuire and Hannon.
Tom Watt's just gone right around the horn with 4 lines, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out with the Hannon line again and not wait 3 more shifts for it.
Yakubov is it to Korolev. Andreyevsky being double shifted tonight, as Alexei Kovalev played a little in the first but hasn't seen the ice much since. Karpatsov at center. He's forced back by Dom Foose. Andreyevsky backhands it into the Leaf zone. Iafredi banks it off the boards to Dom Foose. Behind his own net, Korolev forechecking for Dynamo. Dom Foose to Paulson. He dumps it in. Bramskoy and Miller go after it. It's in front of the net. Porfir's scores!
supplied by the Leafs number 36, Mike Miller, right here to get the puck. It goes off the Soviet defenseman's skate to Don Foose, who sticks it right up inside the goal post to the goalie's left to make it 5-4 with 8:30 to go. Right after that goal, out came the notebooks, and 3 Soviets were writing as fast as the Leafs were skating.
Paul Fenton, time 11:30.
Tom Watt has watched his Leafs score 3 quick ones here in the third, and it's a 5-4 hockey game after they'd fallen behind 4-2 after 2 periods. Just a different Leaf hockey team here in the third, Harry.
Success is never achieved without enthusiasm. And the Leafs have had a lot of it lately, but didn't have much going for them tonight after the first period. But they've got her going again, and look what's happened.
Andreyevsky for Lomakin. That play broken up by Richardson. And then it came back into the Leaf zone, and Dynamo was offside.
Well, Vincent Don Foose is one Leaf whose offensive production has not fallen off, as have so many Leafs with reference to that. And he leads the team in goals, assists, points, game-winning goals, and he may have another game-winning goal that isn't going to count. And he's playing center. He's a better left winger than a center, but he's the best center on this team, so Tom Watt has no choice with such a lack of offensive centers. He's got 3 or 4 good defensive ones, but only Krushelnyski and Don Foose on an every-night basis can do it offensively.
Dynamo's trailed twice in the hockey game, 1-0 and 2-1. They're now 3 times in the hockey game, and it's 5-4 now. That came out over the line. Korolev dropped it to Sorokin. Didn't get much on it as he tried to fire it in to Luke Richardson. Watched by Zamnoff to Tom Kerber. Straight up the middle for Debluoff. Sorokin for Dynamo. To Alexander Uden. He flipped it to the line. Kerber to Lucien Debluoff. He slides it in, and Tom Watt makes changes. Korolev back to Zamnoff. Dynamo likes to use the drop pass. Here's the Hannon line again for Toronto. They lead 5-4. Dave Reed stopped at the line. Korolev for Lomakin, but Todd Gill was there. Reed back to Petit. Todd Gill with 7:03 left in the third. Dave Reed to Hannon. Looking for McGuire. He's behind the defense. He picks it up in the circle. In front, Petit trying to get a backhand shot away. Penalty upcoming to Dynamo, as once again this line of McGuire, Reed, and Hannon is wreaking havoc for Toronto.
Dynamo penalty to number 10, Igor Dorofeyev, 2 minutes for hooking, time 13:10. Igor Dorofeyev for hooking, time 13:10.
Igor Dorofeyev gets a tripping penalty as Michel Petit jumps off the blue line and gets a step on the Russian forward, and the Russian forward has to pull him down. And with 6:50 to go, the Leafs get a power play opportunity here to ice this game, and this enthusiastic and youthful crowd at Maple Leaf Gardens have got a wave going. And so have the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're riding the high wave with 3 goals in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Nice to see the Gardens rocking. Didn't see a scene like this earlier in the season. That's for sure. Kerber to Sacco. Leads 0 for 1 with the man advantage in this hockey game. Mike Miller to Mike Krushelnyski. Sacco's side of the goal. Back to Krushelnyski. Kerber's had moved in from the point. It's Miller to Kerber to I.F. Rady. In front, Sacco poked at it, went just wide. I.F. Rady along the board. Filimonov off the boards to center. Here's Heideroff one-on-one against Kerber. He drops it off to Galchenyuk. Sacco stayed with him. Krushelnyski for the Leafs. 1:15 left in the Toronto power play. They lead 5-4, 3 unanswered goals in the third. Curvers through center. He slaps it in. That's kicked aside by Stolenkov. Krushelnyski at the point to Todd Gill. His slap shot deflected by Miller wide. Miller behind the net. Curvers at the point. Krushelnyski was upended, and the puck's out at center to Todd Gill. Forced back by Korolev. 40 seconds left in the penalty to Dorofeyev. 5:25 in the third. Paul Fenton looking for Domfus on the right wing. Fenton picks it up, but Domfus was offside on the play.
Todd Gill tried to slide a pass from the point to Miller for a tip, and it nearly worked. You don't always have to blast it. Now, Miller's just to the goalie's right, and Todd Gill, in the halfway through his slap shot on the backswing, saw Miller and let up and just kind of passed it to him with a shot right pass, and Miller couldn't tip it in.
Domfus wins the draw back to Michel Petit. Pass off a skate, and Karpatsa sends it down the ice. 18 seconds left in the penalty. Vince Domfus with the go-ahead goal here in the third for Toronto. Straight up the ice, into the Soviet zone. Backhands it around the boards for Miroir. To Gill. Across to Petit. In the sliders, Miroir scores!
And I guarantee you that the Leafs management, from Floyd Smith down through the coaching staff, are as happy about this goal by Miroir as any goal tonight. He's in desperate need of scoring a few goals, as he has admired in a 3-goal, 18-game slump. He takes the pass across, and like we saw Miroir so often last year, find a hole in the armor of the opposition goalie and put it in. And he hasn't been able to do that much this year.
4 goals for the Leafs in the third. Lomack into the backhand. Couldn't get a shot away against Godinyak. Drops it off. A shot by Sorokin. Saved by Reese. And a whistle from Miralelli as the puck came loose. And Dynamo came very close. But the Leafs maintain their 2-goal lead.
If there's one thing the Leafs need, and there are a couple of things they need to make the playoffs, is Daniel Miroir scoring at the pace he did last year. And although this goal doesn't count in the book, it counts between the ears of Daniel Miroir, and that's been the problem with him constantly.
And Miroir says these exhibition games are fun.
It's the league games that haven't been for him. He hasn't been going to the net, he hasn't been skating, and most importantly, he hasn't let that rocket shot go this year as often. And those are all things that happen to you when you lose your confidence.
Dave Reed deep into the Dynamo zone. McGuire to it first. Took a solid check from Kranskoy. Zamnoff after it with McGuire. And he may have got a stick in the eye.
He got a stick in the face. He was trying to reach around the Russian player and was bordered on holding him, and the Russian stick, I think, came back. I don't even think the Russian knew he did it, but he did it. As you can see, McGuire's cut on the bridge of the nose. He's chasing 26, number 18, and 32 is trying to run a bit of interference, and right there, he hooked him. And if Dan Marawelli had our replay, 32 puts his hand up like the wrestlers do on television, say he didn't mean to do it. And there it is right there. It's easy to say you didn't mean to do it after you've done it, and 32 is gone. 5 in a game with 4:10 left.
Dynamo penalty to number 32, Sergei Sorokin. 5 minutes for high sticking, and the game was stopped. Time 16:50. Sergei Sorokin, 5 minutes high sticking, the game is stopped. Time 16:50.
Captain McGuire, you can see it's not nearly as bad as it looked at the start. They're going to put a couple of stitches going to the left for the medical room instead of right for the dressing room. And he will certainly not miss any more action other than the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And he's been one of the better Leafs tonight.
Leafs have pretty well salted it away with 4 goals here in the third, and now will spend the rest of the game with a man advantage. Major penalty to Sorokin.
Well, the Soviet team has to go after a short-handed goal here, or they're just conceding the loss with 4 minutes to go.
Back in the corner, big pile up of players. And a whistle, as watching play closely was Maroelli.
Al Iafrate, whose offensive stats are way down with 2 goals and 14 assists in 36 games. And the one area that his statistics are down is he's only had 45 shots on goal in 36 games. Dave Ellis had 91. Rob Ramage has had 77. They played a little more in the power play. But Al's got one of the hardest shots. In fact, last year at the All-Star game, he had the hardest shot among all the All-Stars. He has to get a couple of shots a night anyway on the goalie. Even if he doesn't score, the goalie rarely catches Al Iafrate's shot. The puck hits him and is very available for forwards to stick the rebound in.
Iafrate couldn't take a shot there as the puck is rolled down the ice. Tom Curvers, watched by Zamnov. 3:20 left in the third period. Krushelnyski runs into Karpatsev at the line. Zamnov for Dynamo. Around the boards for Korolev. Iafrate was pinching. Leafs with the man advantage and a 2-goal lead. Iafrate skates away from 2 Soviets. Gives it to Pearson. Krushelnyski for the net. Iafrate is going to score!
That's the shot I'm talking about, Bruce. Not many can shoot it any harder, and that was a wrist shot. And a dandy. Iafrate made the play on the rush, stayed involved in the rush, and it was the Soviet player at center ice in the neutral zone right here that allowed Iafrate, who kept going in the rush. And the pass comes right here from Pearson, and Iafrate really let that go right up over the shoulder of the goaltender. And some guys who have struggled offensively, Hannon, Marois, McGuire, now Iafrate have scored tonight, and that may be the biggest single feature of this victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Second goal against the Soviets for Al Iafrate. Petit cutting in on the back end, and going down on the play was Shkalenkov to make the save.
And it's a major penalty, Bruce, so nobody comes out of the box, of course.
Leafs can continue to pour on the offense. They've scored 5 already this period. Fenton trying to jam it in front. Filimonov to Galchenyuk. Trepalov, who played the shootout, thought we might see him with Shkalenkov surrendering 5 goals here in the third, but he stayed on the bench.
Well, Dynamo goes to Hartford for the next game, and they may play Trepalov in that one. They thought they had this game won, and so did most other people, including 20 Maple Leafs, but those quick goals changed the complexion of the game completely.
Karpatsev around the boards for Lomakin. Todd Gill behind the goal, swings in front, got a backhand shot away. Shkalenkov got that green stick down, and the puck is cleared. Minute and a half to go in the third. Leafs still with the man advantage. Major penalty to Sorokin of Dynamo. Dave Hannon going for the net. Got a shot away. Stolenkov the save. And it's underneath the Soviet goalie who hangs on for a faceoff. Down to 1:17 to go. And the Leafs have a 3-goal lead. Corner. Takes the shot to Kerbers. His slot shot saved by Stolenkov. Andreyevsky gives it to Lomakin. Less than a minute to play. 7-4 Toronto. A 5-goal outburst in the third by the Leafs. Andreyevsky hit by Goodenough. Lomakin a good move in front, but couldn't get a shot away against Kerbers. Now Goodenough throwing his weight around as he stepped into Andreyevsky again. Goodenough, first Soviet to play for Toronto. Long lead pass for Hannon. Shovels it behind the goal. Broughton in the corner. 10 seconds left. Peeking around the boards. Todd Gill with one last chance. His shot off the skate of Broughton. It goes to the boards, and the game is over.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs with 20 minutes at the start of the game where they equaled the Soviets in effort and intensity. And then about 30 minutes where they were a bad second and they got down 4